In this video, I will be talking about the derivative and the tangent line problem. The problem is, find the equation of the line tangent to a curve f of x at a given point x f of x. So here I have a picture of our curve, labeled it f of x, and the point that we're discussing has an x-coordinate of x, and then the y-coordinate is f of x. So we'll begin by choosing another point on the curve, let's say right here, and then we'll draw a secant line through these 2 points. Now if the distance from x to the x-coordinate of this point is delta x, then this coordinate will be x plus delta x, and the y-coordinate will be f of x plus delta x. So the coordinates then of this point are x plus delta x, and the y-coordinate is f of x plus delta x. Now we can find the slope of this secant line. Remember that slope is change in y over change in x. So our slope we want the y coordinates subtracted. So we have f of x plus delta x subtract f of x. And that's the numerator. And in the denominator, we'll have x plus delta x subtract x. Now this simplifies, these x's will cancel here. So the slope of the secant line will be f of x plus delta x minus f of x divided by delta x. Now if we take this distance and make it smaller and smaller until delta x is almost 0, then this point will come closer and closer to our given point. When that happens, our secant line would become our tangent line at this point. So that leads us to a definition. The slope of the line tangent to f of x at the point x f of x is the limit as delta x approaches 0 of this fraction. So f of x plus delta x minus f of x over delta x. So let's use that definition to answer the question, what is the slope of the tangent line at x equal -4 of the curve given by the function f of x equal 4x minus x squared. So let me recopy that definition. M is the limit as delta x approaches 0 of f of x plus delta x minus f of x over delta x. All right, so we need f of x plus delta x. So we need to sub this expression into this function every time we see an x. So we'll have 4 times and then minus something squared. Okay. So in here I want to put x plus delta x and then x plus delta x in here. Now let's simplify this before we continue working on this fraction. I need to distribute here. So I have 4x plus 4 delta x. And then I'm going to distribute this negative in a minute. When I square this binomial, I get x squared plus 2x delta x plus delta x squared. Right, now let's distribute this negative here. We have 4x plus 4 delta x minus x squared minus 2x delta x and then minus delta x squared. So now I'm needing to find the limit as delta x approaches 0. And this expression is going to be this first part right here. This right here. So let me copy 4x plus 4 delta x minus x squared minus 2x delta x minus delta x squared. And then I'm subtracting from that f of x. So let me copy that in parentheses. F of x is 4x minus x squared. So that's my numerator, and then delta x is in the denominator. Well, obviously you can't do direct substitution. Delta x is approaching 0. That would cause division by 0. So hopefully something will happen that will cancel this off. Let's distribute this negative. So I'm calculating the limit as delta x approaches 0. I'll copy. And then this minus comes in and makes that a negative 4x. And comes in and makes this a positive x squared. And then all over delta x. Alright, let's see if some things cancel. I have a positive x squared here and a negative x squared here, so those will cancel. And I have a positive 4x here and a negative 4x back here. Those will cancel. So let's copy what I have now. So 4 delta x minus 2x delta x minus delta x squared, and then those are gone all over delta x. Okay, now what I can see here in my numerator is I have a delta x factor in all 3 terms. So I'm going to factor that out. So I'm finding the limit as delta x approaches 0, and I'll pull that delta x out in front, which leaves me with 4 in this term, and then minus 2x in this middle term, and then minus delta x in that last term. And that's over delta x. Now my delta x's will cancel, and I'm just finding the limit as delta x approaches 0 of the trinomial 4 minus 2x minus delta x. Well, as delta x approaches 0, this becomes 0. So my limit is 4 minus 2x. So this is the equation that will render our slope of the tangent line. So we have m equals 4 minus 2x, but we want to find m at x equal negative 4. So x equal negative 4, that m value will be 4 subtract 2 times negative 4. Just do the math now. I have 4 plus 8. So the slope of my tangent line at x equal negative 4 is going to be 12.